Hey and welcome. Today I'm going to take you guys through the culture shocks that you will get if you go to Scandinavia. Traveling, I have figured out that these things are not normal in other countries. So I'm going to share with you guys the things that I've thought of that I have been like, what? Why do you do that in Norway? Or, huh? In Sweden you do that? So important to know is that I grew up in both Norway and Sweden, and there are different cultures, and I'm going to kind of divide them a little bit because they are pretty different even though they seem kind of similar. The first thing that I have that is kind of funny that I think mostly people from the US will find a bit strange, that is that during rush hour in Sweden and Norway, especially in Sweden I guess, it is radio silent. Like, no one talks to each other. If you start talking to someone, it's like a bit of invading someone's space, especially if you speak Swedish. If you would approach someone in English in Sweden, I think we would be more like open to it because we know how the culture is in different parts of the world. Same with like stores and stuff. You don't talk to people in the stores like they do in the US. One more thing that I've discovered that not many people know about, especially not like south of Europe, is that it actually is dark all winter in both Sweden and Norway in the north. Like, you don't see the light. It's darkness and more darkness. And that on the other hand, in the summer it's light and the sun doesn't go down. Even though you don't go to the north, like even in the middle of Sweden, you don't know if it's like what time it is in the day because the sun is always up. Personally, I like this better when it gets dark and then it's dark for a bunch of hours and you can sleep, and then it gets light and you can actually do stuff in the day. I like it much more because being dark all the winter, you're so tired, and in the summer you have so much energy all the time, but you feel this like a little bit tired because you are tired because you need sleep, but it's light, so your brain is like, what are we doing? Another thing that is really clear, especially now when I live in Italy, like I could make a whole video of like 20 minutes on the food culture in Italy because it's insane. But especially in Norway, the food is really bad. You eat bread with something like cheese or whatever, butter and cheese, like here in Italy if you have butter and cheese, oof. Like bread with fish or butter and cheese or whatever that you like. You eat it for breakfast, lunch, and then you have like some kind of dinner that contains of usually like cooked vegetables, potatoes, meat, and sauce. Like here in Italy, what they call sauce is like the broth from the vegetables. Like, In Norway, you take like a powder and milk and then stir, and then you have the sauce. So it's really different. It's really different. In Sweden, on the other hand, they usually eat like warm meal for lunch. So it's a little bit better there. But like, it's nothing complicated. It can't take more than 15 minutes to make because then it's too much. It's too much. Also, when you buy like fruits and vegetables in the store, because it's so far and we don't grow them ourselves, the average here in Italy where it's like, it's not that good, but it's okay, that's like the best thing you've ever tasted if you're from Scandinavia. Okay, so to the next thing, which is the hiking culture, and it's especially strong in Norway. It's way less strong in Sweden actually, so I'm going to talk from a Norwegian perspective. So when I was a kid, like 5 years old, with school, we hiked like the mountains that I've hiked today, and I'm like, how did we not die? And sometimes I think that it's like the Norwegian natural selection. Like, I don't understand how they dare to take up the kids those mountains actually. Like, I wouldn't trust myself as a kid doing that. I think I have this way of thinking because I grew up the rest of the time when I grew up was like in Sweden. So I think that that kind of plays a role, because I don't think if you're from Norway you're like, yeah, of course the kids go up on the mountains this close to their death. So the hiking culture is really strong and no one questions it. Like, if you with the family, if they say like, yeah, we're going on a hike today, you don't question it. You just be like, okay, that's what we're doing today. It's like, today we are going to eat this for lunch. Okay, then we're going to eat that for lunch, you know? You don't question it. One thing that is also very typical Scandinavian is the training culture. It kind of goes into the hiking culture, but in both Norway and Sweden, you see people running everywhere. You can literally see someone drag a tractor tire after them up a hill and you will be like, yeah, normal day, and then you go on. Another thing, only in Norway though, not in Sweden, is that you see people walking around with glasses like this. You don't even have to train or anything. You walk around with these glasses, you drive a car with these glasses, you have them all the time. Like these sort of sporty, speedy glasses. I don't know why. The next thing I want to talk about is allemansretten. Allemansretten is a law that says that you can camp anywhere. As long as it's 200 meters from a house, you can literally camp in someone's garden. You can stay there for, I think it's 24 hours in Sweden. I don't know what it is in Norway, but you can stay there. No one is allowed to say camping forbidden, and if you ever see a camping forbidden sign, you can just camp there anyway. Like, it's no one can tell you to not camp there. It's a law that you can camp there. You can also pick flowers, mushrooms and all of that, as long as you don't break branches from trees and pick the flowers that you're not allowed to pick, which are a few. So nature is free. You can go around in all nature, all forest. Like, there is nothing that is closed off. Like, people can own the forest but not forbid you to go there. Another thing is that people are very tall. I am 174 centimeters and I'm not even that tall. When I go to the south of Europe, I'm like a head over everyone else. One thing that I forgot to say was that the education system in Scandinavia is probably the best in the world. And you also get money that you get to keep, like it's not a loan. You can also take really good loans. In Sweden and Norway, you can almost study as a job. The last thing I want to say is that you will get shocked how happy people are. Like, if you go there in the summer, people are super happy. In the winter though, people are pretty depressed because they don't have any sunlight. But in the summer, we're so happy that the summer is finally coming. We're really happy, and that makes us really happy, and everyone's just high on life. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. Bye!